Hi guys. So a question that I get a lot is, how does it feel, or what does it feel like to have CRPS? I can talk about my own experience. Everybody will have their experience, and there's a lot of things where we will agree, and there's some things that we will disagree because our bodies differ and our circumstances differ. In my case, the easiest probably is to describe it as follows. Imagine yourself, close your eyes and imagine you take a bag full of boiling water and you take your hand and you put it inside that bag. Now hold it inside that bag. At the same time, from within your hand, there is a volcano brewing and spitting out lava. Now after a moment, take your hand out, tear off all the skin so that your um, muscles and your tissue is exposed, and take your hand and drag it over rough sandpaper. Once you've done that, take a hand, put it back inside that bag of boiling water with the lava flowing from inside your hand. Now, if you can imagine all of that happening at exactly the same time, that is what it felt like for me. Um, I would touch my hand with my left hand, and my hand would feel cold, but where I touched it on the outside, yet to my hand itself, it felt like it was boiling, and it feels like that constantly. Apart from that, there's also a sensitivity problem. So I had to get used to wearing a glove. That is my crutch, if you want to say it, put it that way. But it's a compression glove that helps for the swelling, because what also happens is there's a lot of swelling involved. My hand would swell for no reason. It would start to sweat excessively. I lost all the hair on my hand. So even now, if you compare my hand with the other hand, you will see that there is, you will feel that it's much smoother than my other hand. But it's also sensitive. So there were times when Teresa couldn't even hold my hand. It was too sensitive. I couldn't stand the touch of someone else on my hand. And it still happens. Another thing that I experienced, and especially at the beginning, I still do, it comes and goes with time, is that it felt like a phantom limb syndrome type of thing, where my hand would feel far away in the corner, almost dismembered from the rest of my body. So I could move my hand, I will feel the pain and everything, the burning, the sensation, everything, I will feel that, but it did not feel like my hand was part of my body. It felt like there was a, um, a gap between my hand and the rest of my body and my arm. Then, um, when I would touch my face, it would not feel like my hand. It would feel like somebody else touching my face. It's a weird thing to describe. That you see your hand, but it does not look like your hand. You see your hand, but it does not feel like your hand. So that are some of the things that I experienced. There were a lot of other things as well, but that were the major things. Jolts of, or your hand just starting to bounce like muscle spasms. Um, that was something that I had to get used to. I would sit and it would just start to do this. Uh, yeah, there's a lot of stuff that I can still share about symptoms that I will in any case talk about symptoms later, things like weight gain and all that. A lot of stuff has got to do with the mental side of it, and also with the medication. I will talk about the medication at some point that I'm using and why I'm using medication, even though it doesn't help with the pain, because there is no medication that does help with the pain. I've been on the worst of medications or being on the strongest of medications. Nothing helps for the pain. And that is one of the problems with CRPS, and especially with CRPS 1, because you do not have nerve damage. So, in a sense, what do you treat? Yeah, but in short, that is my experience of um, CRPS, of the pain that I experience on a daily basis. Some days you have your good days, sometimes you have your bad days, sometimes you have your really, really crappy bad days where you're irritated and you're driven by pain. And in certain cases, you can utilize that pain. In other cases, it makes you irritable and people tend to stay away from you because the pain becomes so bad that you almost lose yourself in the process. But that's one of the reasons why anybody that's got CRPS build up a toolbox full of coping mechanisms. Because at the end of the day, that is all we can do, is to fall back on coping mechanisms. And there's a lot of that we'll talk about. Thank you very much, guys. Hope you have a good evening. Talk to you soon.